What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Dysfunctionally Functional. So, this is my show and my life, and we have some real life issues going on right now. So, as many of you have heard, the dynamic between mothers and their oldest daughters is the tale of time, right? So, about 80% of those relationships actually work out. I have worked my ass off to break that chain with my children. And I can honestly say now that my daughter has decided to say some really crazy stuff, I'm actually going to read it because that's my prerogative. But as a mother, I am going to go through what it takes to get through something like this, how I actually am feeling right now, and let's just kind of go through it together because I'm not the only parent that's being told this kind of shit. I'm going to say shit because I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to break down what the points are. I'm going to break down what her issues are, and I'm going to actually reverse it. So when people project bad behavior on you, or they have some kind of negativity towards you, whatever the case may be, that is, in therapy across the board, that is always going to be, you are a mirror image. You are a reflection of something they have insecurities within themselves about. So, when people talk to you like this, in general, we get pissed off, we get defensive, we get antagonistic, we feel like we're backed into a corner, we throw things. I am not ashamed to say, I've said it on plenty of podcasts. I have 2 family pictures in my room that just recently, because of her, I just needed to smash some shit. So the pictures are still there, the frames are still there, just no glass. She bought me a really nice snow globe with an owl. Owls are my totem animal. Everything about me is owls. It was beautiful. She did this once before. This is repeated behavior, so it's kind of like this addiction to drama. But I wish my husband was here. He has decided that he is going to come on and podcast with me so that, one, not only our children, but other parents out there can understand that you don't have to play good cop, bad cop. My husband has always been the buffer between my children and I. Because, again, my intentions are always good, but my delivery always fucking sucks. I've never denied that. But where this daughter stands, as far as her fixing to say that everything that I say everywhere is a lie and blah, 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 we'll get into it. But everything that she is saying to me is so fucking ass backwards. Like, it is a complete and utter fucking reflection of how she feels and the insecurities that she has about her childhood. I have nothing to apologize for. I will let y'all know how I responded. And this is real life. So I've been given the opportunity to have my own radio show. Thank you, iHeartRadio. And this is real life. I wake up every morning and tell y'all what's going on. The good, the bad, the ugly. What's on my mind. So, let's get into it, right? So, backstory. 17-year-old, pregnant, high school. Scholarship at one hand, pregnancy test in another. Chose my daughter. Why? I had an abortion when I was 15. Regret it to this very second. However, was glad and thankful that I lived in America and had the affordabilities that I had back then, the what's the word that I'm looking for? The options I had back then, that we do not have right now in this country, and that is sad. But the homie didn't come into the picture until she was 6. And if y'all 11, we will claim that. So, y'all always hear me say I love a good hater. Well, as a mother that has a platform, it is hard for my kids. And they each have, I came to each of them before I started all of this COVID major platform. I've always posted my life and been really public. And as they got older, they decided they didn't want to be that public. As they got older, they also decided that since I became an author and do this podcast and now radio show, that they don't want their names mentioned. They want their privacy, and that's great. So going forward, I know what opportunities I can and can't take. I'm going to take whatever opportunities are given to me. If the shoe fits, definitely. But definitely do everything to protect my family, my kids. They do not wish to be in the public eye, and I respect that 1,000%. They asked me to stop posting every single picture of their lives. I did that. Instead, I send them the pictures that I capture, and they can choose whether to post it or not post it. So, why is any of this important? Because everything that I do is calculated, it is meticulously thought out. Everything about my life, my schedule, everything is logistics. I'm probably planning shit in my sleep. All I do is plan stuff. Everything that I plan is to elevate my life, my husband's life, and what will eventually be our separation, because, you know, everybody does feel sorry for my husband, as they should. He married a lesbian. But for what it's worth, nobody's heard his part of the story yet. And no, I didn't coerce him into coming in here. We were actually going to do this last year on our anniversary when we were in Mexico, but we had Wi-Fi issues. So, because this is becoming such a ripcord in our family, we have decided to do this and actually tell our sides of the story together. So this will be a multi-part session, and it'll be recorded at night and uploaded at night because that's when he gets home and that's when we have time. So let's get into the story. Before I start this, in case she decides to hear this, she decided to listen to the one yesterday, and she's been stalking my life. You know how you can see when people are watching you and have you on instant notification? When I went to, just a little backstory, so 2 weeks ago, she was the maid of honor at her best friend's wedding. She was the nicest, sweetest. We had an amazing conversation where I, again, apologized. I'm not a person who apologizes, by the way. Y'all all know that. When I am apologizing multiple times and making the efforts, and I know that my husband's behind the scenes talking to her because we talk every single day, multiple hours a day, despite what my kids think. And it's not all about poor dad. They are hearing the narrative that they have collectively come up with together, with the exception of my son. My son is not on Team Sisters. It's Team Sisters against Mom. The brother stays out of it. He really, truly does not like drama and thinks that he has his own opinions about his sisters and their behavior. So, with that being said, when I came home and was getting ghosted, basically, by my daughter, I was sending her pictures where I got, at a wedding, the videographer and photographer and everybody that's paid to make this production go on, they focus on the bride. While they're going to get pictures of the bridal party and stuff like that, I wanted her to have a video of her speech. I wanted her to see her when she glowed the most, because she is someone who deals with a lot of insecurities within herself. Everybody does. So she can't say that I'm singling her out. But knowing this as a mother about your child, you want to capture and show them that their beauty does radiate. And that's why I take so many pictures of my family. That and the fact that my husband and I have busted our asses and done stuff that our children don't even know about to make sure that they always had what they wanted. Always. This one in particular, because she was my first. She was my why. She was my everything. And we did it together. Even though she wasn't doing anything but being a needy child. All children are needy, right? They're needy until they're not. And even when they think they're not, that's when they're needy the most. I'm talking about this adulting situation, right? They leave the house too early because they're mad. They hate their parents. They think they know all the answers. They get into the big bad world, and then they want to go home, but their pride steps in, and then they're stubborn. How do I know these things? Because it's a reflection of me. Actually, if I would have had the technology or not been afraid that my dad was going to knock my teeth down my throat, I would have said worse shit than what I'm about to read to my parents. I have said worse stuff to my birth vessel. But the difference is she is actually going to compare me to said birth vessel in this text for the first time in her life. That is something that 100% across the board, not one person, not even the man she sleeps next to, will ever fucking agree with. It is absolutely 1000% couldn't be further from the fucking truth. Again, yesterday, what did we talk about? Generation Y, Z, and millennials. They're ignorant. They stay on social media. They do they created a whole language for elder people, sub-tweeting, sub-texting, whatever the fuck that called. I've been calling that phishing since before MySpace, so you can go on with your dumb shit. You can call it whatever you want. First fish to hook is always the guilty one. I can call you out and make you look retarded as fuck if I want to. I used to be that person. And no, this is not a fake version of me, sweetheart. This is the healing version of me. But much like her sperm donor, they believe that I'm still this angry teenaged kid that just wants to walk around starting fires all over the place. And that's just not who I am. It's not. I raised my kids to be advocates. So here's her testimony to me. So again, she's going to talk a lot about being fake. I'm fake, all I do is lie, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. If I was lying, I would have been sued 1,000,000 times fucking over. That's why I have a legal team at the publishing house. That's why every publishing house has legal, insurance, GAAP, all that fun stuff. You cannot publish fictitious books or nonfiction books based on fictitious stories. You can't. It is illegal. Can I remind y'all of Depp versus Heard? Just saying. You cannot publish. I had to be very strategic in the way I wrote the book because I did not want to come off as a victim. I've never once claimed to be a victim of anything since I have started Dysfunctionally Functional. I actually write because I write in first person, yes, I am a victim at the time in that story, in that time frame that I am writing that story of my life. What was going on? Am I a victim now? No. I speak from a platform of survivalism. I am a survivor of the things that have happened to me. I actually have a medical marijuana license in multiple states for PTSD. It doesn't get more fucking legal than that. I am on the CURT registry with the government for having severe mental issues. I have been upfront with this since I started this platform that is dysfunctionally functional. So, I'm not reminding all of y'all because y'all been with me since the beginning. Thank you. I am reminding all the kids out there that say this shit to your parents. Now, we have all heard and read this stuff, just a glimpse of the stuff that I went through with my quote-unquote mom. To ever be compared in any way, shape, or form to her, you may as well put a gun to my head and pull the fucking trigger. Literally. Literally. Bible, no shit, on God, like that is exactly how I feel. Never in my life, but I'm going to tell you what, when my husband comes on here, you can ask him, and I will make sure to bring it up. I'm going to put it as a bullet point right now. Okay. We have had conversations because, again, he always is the buffer. He is the one that everyone feels sorry for, as they should. I have never denied that. So where the lies come in, I don't fucking know. But here we go. So here's how it started. So at the wedding, even my youngest daughter came in because I started questioning if anyone else had heard from our daughter. Because I know that she suffers from a lot of anxiety, social anxiety. I know being a maid of honor is stressful. Just being in a wedding and being a bride is stressful. Hell, just the logistics of it was a destination wedding, so that's challenging for people who don't live in the area. It's all stressful. And she pulled it off, and she did immaculate. She did great. But when I got home, again, I live in a spiritual world. I can tell when there's a disconnect between mine and my children's energies because I use my abilities to make sure that my kids are safe mentally, psychologically, whatever the case may be. I knew something was off. I could feel it. Everybody told me. Even my youngest was like, Mom, she came in the room. She was laughing and joking with us until stupid o'clock in the morning. Blah, 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 blah. You're reading too much into it. You're reading too much into it. No, I wasn't. Had the same conversation with my husband just night before last. And I said, has anyone actually heard from so-and-so? And he was like, yeah, I mean, I talk to her every day. I mean, she was in Florida, blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah, I know about all that, but this is what's going on. This is what I think. And immediately, that's the conversation I was talking about yesterday where I said, hey, I could already tell he was going to get defensive and say that I was being paranoid. That's everybody's go-to. Mom's crazy. Mom's paranoid. Mom takes it to the next level. But here's where mom comes with receipts. They always want me to tell them, give me an example of a time where I fucked you over. It's always, Mom said this, Mom said she was going to do. They can't say that Mom ever did anything to them because I purposely do not physically discipline my children because it's something that I suffered from as a child, visualizing, and it's a trigger for me. I have always been that mother that has been afraid to go off on a child, which I did with Madison. While she doesn't remember, she knows the story because I told her and I had to ask forgiveness for it. And she wanted to know why her brother and sister had an easier life than she did, and I had to explain to her why. This bitch would not stop coloring on walls of very expensive apartments that we were blessed with my husband and his family. We were newbies at the time. When his family took me in, I've never gone home since. I've been with him ever since. while he has allowed me to do many bad things in my marriage, there are no secrets between us. There's none. And for example, our youngest came in here yesterday and was like, oh my God, where's the car? Why didn't anybody ask me about who could take the car? And we both looked at her like, yo, this is a situation. No, I'm sorry. No. We're going to start shutting that shit down and pointing it out to you when you make the mistakes. This is the front that we have decided to take in behind closed doors. We are pulling the rug out from under our kids, even though they think they're adults, and we're always going to be the parents. We're always going to be a united front. Paul and I will always be a united front. As long as the parents in the relationship, one, have control of your fucking kids. Two, learn how to speak their language. But three, learn to love yourself first, because that makes all the difference in the world. My kids, well, the ones that live with me at least, they can see that I am actually truly fucking happy in my life. Their friends adore me because I am fun. I am charismatic. I'm goofy. I'm off the cuff. I say things that I shouldn't say and that are probably so offensive to so many fucking people. But I just don't care because everything used to be light, fun, and fluffy. Parents used to be in charge. Kids used to say yes ma'am and no ma'am. Kids used to go play outside. Kids used to drink from water hoses. Kids used to live in dumpsters. Kids used to be locked outside of their houses no matter what the temperature was outside. You were only allowed to come back in to eat, shower, and go to bed. These kids, 1994 and after, the technology era, they're dumb, stupid, and they bump into walls until they choose education and choose not to be ignorant and choose to be a participating citizen of this country. So, to say that my eldest and I have had a great relationship, despite all of the positives, her embellishment of her growing up story is so far-fetched. My husband and I really try to understand where she's coming from, while neither one of us have ever invalidated her feelings. I can't we do not have the authority to invalidate anyone's feelings. But as parents, especially him, because he's the good guy, I'm the bad guy all the time, and I'm used to it. That's okay. But of course, they all cling to him. My son clings to me more. He's really Switzerland, but my son is the only person who understands me, other than my brother downstairs, because we grew up the same. But to tell somebody something like this when they're in recovery, and she told me at the wedding that she had started therapy and it was doing great. Again, we had an amazing time. It was great. But what I'm about to read you and the timeline I'm about to give you, I will leave that up to you all in the 47 countries now. Thank you very much that y'all are listening from. So, the wedding was 2 weekends ago, right? I started sending her videos after I got back home. And she was actually still talking for a while. So we get to, let's just go back to June 15th. I accidentally called her, whatever. I said total accident. I was trying to call my youngest daughter. I still love you, but it was an accident, LOL. She said, it's okay, I love you too. I heart emoji'd it. Moving on. June 17th. Are you getting the text about dad? So I have a group chat with my family and my brother, and then I have a group chat with just my kids without my husband and my brother. Because sometimes we got to talk about different things about different people. So she was not responding to the group chat with me and my children and me, I should say. Are you getting the text about Dad? She said, yeah, I've just been busy at work all day, then packing for Florida. We're leaving tonight, so I've just been busy, and I don't have much money at all. I said, Florida, ? Oh shit, what's there? And she tells me where she's going and tells me that it's her boyfriend, family, it's an extended thing, it's going to be crazy. And I explained to her, I am not asking y'all to pay, I just thought y'all talk to him more than I do. Again, not a lie. I talk to him more than I do. Y'all talk to him more than I do. I'm so busy with clients, I literally never leave my room. The last time I was downstairs was when I came home with our youngest daughter from Dallas. So I was just looking for ideas because I actually don't get to talk to Daddy that much. We actually go days without seeing each other. It's mainly text. And I haven't seen Junior since I've been home. That's my brother. I feel comfortable saying his name because I have his permission. And then after hearing her story, I replied, oh, wow, that sounds intense. How are you doing mentally, babe? You've been super busy. Again, as a mother who knows their child, understands their mental illness, while I can't connect with her level specifically because I come from my own personal place of anxiety and depression and stuff, I'm not a doctor, so I cannot tell her what she has. Then she goes on to tell me about his family's vacation again. Just talking about normal stuff. I'd say, get him some cute clothes. That's what she says about him. The only reason that she is answering, this is where the tone changes. For me, as a reader, as a spiritual person, and as a mom. Instinct, intuition, it's real. She says they do a family vacation there every now and then, and we're even getting pictures taken and everything. And he hasn't talked about anything he wants, now referring to Dad. So, my husband. He hasn't talked about anything he wants to me, really just stuff about his day and stuff. I'd say get him some cute clothes, and I'm mentally drained, LOL, but I think this vacation will really help me just calm down. I started therapy too. I love my therapist. I hearted all of this and said, our youngest is paying for him a membership on Bumble. And here, Maddie is responding. Why is she responding to me? Let me point this message out. She is responding because she's talking about her dad, who she has an awesome relationship with, my husband. Let's go. We just got to get him more confidence to put himself out there. So, our daughters, for Christmas, got him some new swag. He needs an upgrade because he's going to start dating soon, and they want that for him. Anytime I talk about my life, any females that I'm not in a relationship with, I don't have a girlfriend, never had one recently at all. The last girlfriend I had, her name was Jamie. She lived in Deer Park and probably still works at Walgreens on Center Street. Last girlfriend I ever had. While there are women that I talk to in my life and I go places with that happen to be gay, while my kids like to call me a racist all the time, this is why I call them homophobic. Because when we talk about Paul dating, the girls are like cheerleaders, fucking cheerleaders back in high school. But if I just mention a female's name, the whole energy in the room changes. Literally changes. The only reason she is communicating with me right now is because we are talking about something that is going to benefit Paul and what are their endeavors for him to move on as quickly as possible and get the fuck away from me because they believe that I am just here for finances when I actually hustle and make my own fucking money, but thanks for that anyways. Moving right along, he does deserve better. When Paul comes on, I have a bullet point there saved on the wall for that. We are going to discuss this because I told Paul after I had my surgery in 2011 when they took my reproductive organs out. I told him then, behind closed doors. Again, parents, your children are not privileged to your adult information. I'm going to say that again. Children are not privileged to adult information. There are children and there are parents. Children need to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. When we need to tell you something, we will tell you something. If you need to ask us something, because a child should never tell a parent anything. I have listeners from 14 all the way to 106, 47 countries. I know y'all hear me. Y'all children are not in motherfucking control of shit. You do not get to walk in and tell that verb that is a verb. That is an action. You do not get to walk in or call or text or tell your parent any motherfucking thing. What you can do is knock on a closed door. Children don't do that anymore. There's no such thing as privacy in the parent world. There is if you put those boundaries back in place as your parents did. So what do? I actually have a little thing I hang on the doorknob, and then I went one step further. I have a sticky note with a hook, and it actually says what the fuck I'm doing. And it even says, do not knock. When I'm doing this radio podcast, I do not need background interference. Which reminds me, my auto ducting is not on, which is why y'all can hear my chair. I can hear it in my feedback. Sorry about that. 26 minutes of y'all probably trying to figure out if I'm farting or not. No, it is my chair. I didn't realize the auto ducting was off. Anyways, parents, you tell your children what to do. And you also get to ask questions. We get to do both. There's a man and a woman that become one. But they are both individuals. My husband and I who have two totally different styles of parenting. Why? We come from two totally different family backgrounds and upbringings. My husband over the years has managed to really soften me up around the edges. And when it comes to the kids, he really does he does advocate for them a lot. I don't want to say too much because we have episodes planned. But it is important to know before I read the rest of this nonsense that when he reads this, one, his heart is already broken. She broke his heart immediately with a post that she posted yesterday because it confirmed for him that my assumptions or my psychic spidey senses, you would think that having a mom like me would be cool, right? No, my kids fucking hate it. They hate it. They hate me. They literally tell me that. Well, at least this one. But now she's going to go one step further. So how does the rest of the conversation go? So we were at June 17th. So when she says, let's go, just got to get him more confidence to put himself out there. And then I said, that's amazing, babe. That makes me so happy for you with the prayer hands and a heart emoji because I genuinely have been praying for my daughter to get help because I can feel her mental stability just breaking, her foundation, her anxiety, the things that she was using in life to self-medicate and cope when all I needed her to do was just go get some fucking help. Everybody needs to talk to somebody. So I go on to tell her he did shave today. He went public, and I went public that I was off the market. Now, when I made the post about being off the market, yes, me and a friend of mine that I have had for my entire life, who actually used to be my bully, our daughters ended up playing softball together. Long story short, we became friends. We tried it. It did not work. It's never going to work. So therefore, I was happy in the moment. I was very happy in the moment. If you were to talk to my children that live here in my house, I was waking them up, jumping on their beds. I was happy about starting something new and something fresh. We all know that my husband and I are going to part ways eventually. That's going to happen. But does it mean that we're going to live completely separate lives? Absolutely fucking not. We have both made that rule that each of our partners has to understand that we are always going to be in each other's lives. That is a mutual agreement between two consensual adults. Our kids can lie and say that I coerced him into saying that, but if they actually knew their father, they would know that he actually loves me more than life itself. And unfortunately, I have not been able to reciprocate that to him, and I have been more than publicly honest about that. So, why is any of this important? Well, after I start talking about him really pimping himself out and this and that, I start talking about my friend, Jessica, who we're going to try to make this relationship work, right? I haven't had a response since, and this is what I've sent. Therapy is the best, though. I love it. I'm happy that you found someone that you can go to. Heart emoji. June 18th. Have a safe trip today, and more importantly, relax and have fun. I love you. You've earned this vacation. Heart emoji. June 19th. So while you're there with Christina, and then I'm going to just skip over this because it's intellectual property and I don't want to say it. It's a business venture that I was offering to her boyfriend's sister, one of them, who has a boyfriend who has this really eclectic, unique boutique in Virginia. I'm always trying to help other people elevate. I mean, that's why I choose the brands, choose to be an ambassador for the brands that I choose. Shopping local, if you're hustling and doing your own thing, I am all about that. So why, if I have an idea and my plate is already cracking because it's so full of work, why would I add one more thing? I didn't even ask for a percentage. I was just saying, as a lesbian, and I know other people in the Alphabet Mafia community deal with a lot of the same struggles that I deal with it. As far as my fashion goes, I have a fashion line in my head, have always had one, and have been waiting for the right opportunity to bring that style back, and we're on the cusp of it. So anyways, it's two very long texts that say, hey, while you're there with so-and-so, maybe you could talk to her boyfriend. Maybe this is something he would want to do. I do not discuss, I want money from him. None of that. I honestly, genuinely thought of him when I thought about it because, one, I can't handle another workload right now. But when I started talking to my husband about the full line and he's getting the images and he actually knows how to sketch because he's in architecture, he was like, that's really another business venture that once this takes off, and I have projects right now that are actively being worked on, this being one of them, we decided to maybe keep that a little private. So I explained that to her as well. Again, nothing fake, nothing at all. I am not a fake person. Actually, y'all know me more than anybody. I cannot stand a fake motherfucker, which is why I do not have a relationship with my birth vessel. She is the fakest person on the planet. I have a saying about her. If she's breathing, she's scheming. If her lips are moving, she's lying. I cannot stand fake people. My daughter is the fakest person that I have known my entire life. And I wholeheartedly, I will use her words. She starts off. So also, I send her all the videos and pictures of herself, of a really good picture that the photographer didn't catch, of a really good glimpse of the bride and her dad having this really genuine bust out gut laugh out loud in live action. Thought this was so cute. That's what I put. She has not responded to any of this stuff, right? I took my time, not because I wanted gratification. If I wanted gratification, I would have posted it on social media. I wanted my daughter to see how beautiful she was. Then at Pride, which again annoys the fuck out of my kids, but here we are, I put, thought of you yesterday. She really struggles with missing her family that she has here at home. Obviously not me, but she loves the energy here in Houston, and she's a really big sports fan. So at the Pride Festival, I took a video of the Rockets, Astros, and Coca-Cola things, and it did make me think of her. And that made me emotional because this is a part of me that I know, there's so many parts of me. Just to put it out there bluntly, I said it yesterday and I'm going to say it again right now. I believe that my daughter hates that I gave birth to her. I've known that since she was very young. She has been manipulating people since she was very young. There's a swimsuit situation that happened with my brother-in-law ever since she met Moneybag Sperm Donor. Like, she plays people to get what she wants, whether it's monetarily or whatever, and she's been doing it since she was a kid. But for the first 2 years, 3 years of her life, she wasn't raised by me. She was raised by my birth vessel, who is who she's comparing me to now. So really, the images that she's seeing in me, it's only a reflection of her childhood, yes, but not where I'm concerned. I was not around. I was incarcerated. I was hustling. I was in jail. I was in boot camp. I was doing everything to keep this chick out of the system. And I managed to do that with lawyers and legal coming at me. My parents tried to take her away from me every chance they got. My sister tried to take her away from me. Everybody wanted to take her away from me. Why? Because they didn't like the lifestyle. Well, I'm sorry. When you're homeless, you're 17, and you're having a baby at 18. My birthday, I turned 18 on March 30th. She was born April 17th. There you go. They say I lie about the age when I was pregnant. No, motherfucker, I had you. I think I know. This is me. I'm not asking questions anymore. You don't get to tell your parents anything, ever. I don't care if you're 15, if you're 5, if you're 23, 24, if you're 48, 52, or 160, or if you're a fucking immortal. You never, ever get to tell your parents what to do. Or you don't get to tell them shit. You can ask questions. You get to ask questions, but you do not get to adversely attack your parents. So kids, you need to turn around. You need to go find your parents, pick up your phone, put it down, get off of here, go find your parents, call them, text them, send them a video, make it personal. Because I guarantee, while she's going to say in this text that it gives her great, in all capital letters, satisfaction to say what she's about to say, please believe if I went and killed myself tonight, that bitch would wind up dead. She wouldn't be able to handle it. She's not as strong as me. Sorry, she just texted again. So we're going to talk about that topic too. So, one of the things she's telling me to do right now, that message that just came through, is keep my name out of your fucking mouth. I'm not using your name! Again, parents are always going to be wiser. Parents are always going to be the wiser. So, this is why my husband and I have decided to come public. Cannot fucking wait. That's going down this week. This week. I think we've decided to do it Saturday and Sunday, or Sunday and Monday, I forget. But my schedule is really, really hectic. So, but before we get to that little shit she just added. So anyways, I thought of you yesterday, the Astros, the Rockets, and Coca-Cola really went all out. Then today, so all this time, no communication from her. But she had been stalking me on social media. So you can see who sees your stuff on Instagram and TikTok. And not so much on Facebook, but I'm not really a Facebook person. So I can see every time I open up social media, and guess what? My platforms, my job, my life is social media. So when I open social media, guess who the first person I see every fucking day is? Her. I don't care about what she's doing. I'm giving her the space that she obviously needs. She's ghosting me. So my therapist says that when people pull away from you, let them. Let them. And that's what I did. That's what I did before the wedding. Went to the wedding. I didn't hold anything against her. She had told me crazy ass shit before I saw her at the wedding. I didn't say anything about her. I wasn't even angry. The situation on the phone from the previous incident leading up to the wedding never bothered me. It still doesn't bother me. This right here, we're going to go through how I feel. Because I know that there are a lot of parents out there, and I would usually be one myself if a child of her age and stature that she believes that she has was to come to you and say what I'm about to read. You would probably drop to the floor, grab your gun safe, and just say, fuck it. What's the fucking point, right? That's how I used to think. It's not how I think anymore. Here's the text message. So this morning I texted her and I said, good morning. You've been on my mind and I just wanted to check on you. How are you doing? ? Are you happy? ? Are we talking? ? Not talking? ? I remember you saying that you started therapy, and that's truly amazing. Being alone with yourself is completely understandable. I just want you to know I'm here and I love you. With a heart emoji. Something very nice. I didn't mention one thing about myself. I am learning to communicate better and match my intentions with my delivery. That's something that I actually am working on in therapy. I'm not just saying that for anything. Everybody should be in therapy because communication is the thing that tears people apart the most. Everybody holds all of their shit in and they play this fake ass game until they antagonize and go off on the innocent people. Remember the verbiage I used yesterday. You hold all that stuff in, you are going to choose to use your pain, your rage, and your anxiety. That's going to be your weapon of war, and you're going to wind up going to war with somebody that's completely innocent and doesn't deserve all that you're bringing. So, on the cusp, immediately. So I texted her, well, it wasn't me, it's an hour later. But today at 9:40 this morning, that's the message I sent her, asking her all questions about her. Because again, I have had conversations with my husband. We are both completely concerned about her mental stability. He's more concerned with our relationship or lack thereof, but I have been foreseeing this coming since she was little. But I never gave in to that energy. I knew it was there. I could feel it. That's why maybe she feels that my relationship has felt forced. But it wasn't because I was pushing her away. It's because she's pushed me away my whole life. She must be listening to me because she's steadily texting. Whatever. So anyways, if I was a daughter and I had any kind of other mom than what I actually had, I would love for my mom to send me a text that says, "Good morning. You've been on my mind. I just want to check on you. How are you doing? Are you happy? Are we talking? Are we not talking? I remember you just started therapy, and that's truly amazing. Being alone and with yourself is completely understandable. This is my assumption. I'm choosing to stay positive, even though I know my instincts are telling me different. I'm still remaining positive. Why? Because I'm an adult and I'm a parent. That's my job. While I didn't know how to do my job before, I know how to do my job now. And I don't have to apologize anymore because I'm healed from what I've done. So, here's the response I get. I would have loved to have gotten a message from anybody in life. You know who messages me like this every morning? My husband. My husband. Even though I don't see him, well, I do see him every day because he does come up here. This is our master. He uses the shower. If he wants to sleep in the bed, he can. I don't make him stay downstairs. He just chooses to because he doesn't like our bed. And I'm usually working. Last night I got off at 4 o'clock this morning. Got up at 8. Here we are. Actually, I just took a little nap. Really didn't sleep. So why all this backstory in specific to this climax of a text that I'm about to read? Because everything she's about to say is completely false. And you're going to hear it from me now. You've been hearing it from me. Y'all know the relationship I have with my mother. So for me to be compared to my mother is the ultimate nail in the coffin. I knew it was coming though. So I'm going to read it. You're going to hear how I feel about it. And then we're going to discuss, as parents, when our children behave in this manner and feel these feelings and have these outbursts, how to work through them. Y'all always want to know how to heal. Here is a situation. I don't know what podcast she's listening to, but I never said that I was going to beat your ass. Like, honestly, you should probably put down the marijuana. Just saying. So, I don't know what podcast. She's not on mine. While this is a live show, she's not on mine. I don't know what podcast she's listening to, but it's not me. So, here's what her response to my very genuine text message was. My demeanor changes because, as a mother, as any parent, you don't ever we always feel like failures, right? And especially with our first child, because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We make up with each other child. The things we fuck up with one, we fix with the other, and so forth and so on. So the only child always gets the bad shtick. That's me and my family. She feels that that's her in her life. But I can honestly tell you for 100%, while she may have memories of stories that I told her about things that I did, like doing cocaine for 2 years every day of my life, she's pointing out the fact that talking about spanking your kid and being afraid to spank your kid because you're afraid of not being able to stop means that I can go to court and go to jail. You don't think that I fucking know that? That's why I don't fucking hit anybody. Admitting you have, acknowledging that you have, and taking accountability for the negatives that you have. This girl is on a roll. I don't know. She's on somebody else's podcast, and she's been listening to my voice for 24 years, plus 9 months. I don't know what fucking podcast she's listening to, but she is on a roll with these text messages. She thrives on drama. She'll be the first one to tell you that she hates drama. She does. She'll tell you real quick, I hate drama, blah, blah, blah. I can't stand this. I'm cutting everybody out of my life. Let me tell you what she actually does. She actually sits behind the screen and watches everybody because she just sits back and observes. That is a definition of a fucking narcissist. You sit back like a fucking serial killer casing their victim. You're a predator. You're an aggressor. You're the negative variable in every equation. You sit back and stalk people's lives. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. When I did look at one of your pictures, I actually posted and I meant what I said. But to sit back and stalk people's lives, she claimed to have taken and blocked like so many family members, all this and that. Oh, I can't stand them. They're fake. I can't stand this. I don't like people putting me on a pedestal. I don't like people liking me just because I'm in the Air Force. I don't even know what the fuck this bitch just like, to be honest with you. Because all she tells you about is what she don't like. Again, why is it so hard to love? Because it starts with yourself. I told y'all I was going to give y'all that answer today. Here's your answer. It is hard to love because it starts with yourself. And if you don't love yourself, then you can't love nobody else. How do you love yourself? You can't heal until you deal. This is a person who clearly doesn't want to deal right now. Here's the response to my beautiful, caring, and genuine text message. What I am about to tell you is about to give me... She put, give me great satisfaction. Oh, okay, I see what she's saying. Here we go. Again, this is live action, so let's go. What I am about to tell you is going to give you, talking about me, great, in all big words, all big letters, satisfaction, because I know you fucking thrive off drama and being the fucking victim. But I'm listening to your stupid ass podcast full of lies. The way you depicted the day I blew up on you is literally comical. My husband and I actually did talk to her boyfriend that night, and she did collapse, and she has admitted to both my husband and myself that she actually blacked out and was on the bathroom floor and does not remember what she told me. Okay? So we're going to break this down for her because apparently she needs some reminding. There you go. I audibly laughed at the things you said because they are all false. You self-project all of your insecurities and bullshit on everyone else to try and make yourself look better. And again, you are not my mom. Well, my vagina and my reproductive organs and my body say different, and I got like 1,000 pictures of you, just saying. And as you get older, guess what? You're starting to look like me. Boom. Where do we leave off on this crazy ass rant? You are more and more like Meemaw. That is what they call my mom. She says you are more and more like Meemaw every day. That is giving me the gun with one bullet loaded in the chamber, pulling the trigger and blowing my brains all over the wall where the hole is. I can literally look to the left of me, and there was a hole where I threw that fucking globe with the owl in it she gave me. We'll have to fix that before we move, but again, Maddie's made me break a lot of shit over the years. Sorry. Didn't mean to say your name. Won't do it again. Please believe. Everybody on the podcast knows your name anyway, so going forward, please believe. No shit. I will try my damnedest. I have to say try because I do not and will not conform to suit anybody else's fucking narratives. Not even yours. But I will respect your demand that I not use your name. Out of courtesy. Not because I have to. Out of courtesy. So, where do we leave off on this dramatic crap? Okay, you're more and more like Meemaw every day. You seriously need help. Guess what, bitch? I've been in therapy for going on 4.5 years. So, there's that. Maybe you need to go back and listen to like all the podcasts. Maybe you shouldn't have just started listening to me like right now. You need to go back and listen to all of them. If you do that, you will understand that I am very open about my flaws. I am very fucking open about my flaws. My subscribers will tell you every day. I have to remind myself about my flaws like Junior has to remind himself about why every day he has to wake up and he has to fight addiction. Every day I wake up and I strive to be a better person. I can't undo 42 years of life in 4 years. Not for you, not for me, not for anybody. So, moving right along. You are the most narcissistic piece of actual shit I've ever dealt with in my life. Coming from the child whose father, sperm donor, signed his birthrights away, did not ever claim her until she was 6 years old, and when she finds out the actual truth in book 2, if she chooses to read it, about why and what, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the corner pocket days went down, you are going to have your fucking mind blown. I've given her every opportunity to ask the right questions without giving her the questions to ask. If she chose to do it, fine, but her actions tell me she didn't do it. And if she did, I know him as well as I know her. He lies about everything. They both believe that I am still this teenage mom that is psycho, crazy, obsessive, narcissistic. There's a cardinal right there. Boom. Back at your ass. 2 for you. Talking about 2. So cardinals are spirits from the other side giving warnings that people are saying bad shit about you. People are throwing negative mojo to you. Guess what? I don't live in your world. I don't live in that world. And I'm not that person. And I'm sorry that you can't see that. And all I can do is pray for you and hope that you do see it one day. Everybody has a Shabbat. We've always said that. My Uncle Oscar was the one of his group. My sister is the one of our group. My Grandma Carolina was the one of her group. My Uncle Lito is the one of his group. Every generation has that one sibling that just thinks they're better than everybody else. Everybody. Every generation has one. My eldest is that person in our family. But on the flip side, she's telling me, you are the most narcissist actual piece of actual shit I've ever dealt with in my life. You walk around in a fucking delusional ass world. Well, I actually did recognize that. And I used a different word. I used dysfunctionally. So that part is accurate. I live in a delusional world. Sure. That's why it's called dysfunctionally functional. Right? I know that common sense is not all that common anymore, But I'm just going to I don't think that needs explanation to the listeners. I know that I was born in a fucking delusional fucking world, right? The one that I kept you safe from, right? Why the fuck you think the book is called Dysfunctionally Functional? That's the story of my damn life. So I didn't need you to point that out, but thank you for paying attention. You're texting me every day to try and get a response out of me. Well, here it is. Well, let me stop you there. I wasn't texting you every day to get a response out of you. I was texting you every day because that's what I've been doing every day that you were being fake as fuck. I thought we had moved on. Even your sister had me convinced that I was being paranoid and I was just assuming the worst because of our past fights and blah, 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 blah. You even had her convinced. So who's the fake one? Just saying. I'm going to point out every fucking thing as we go along. It's my show, my rules, and the house always fucking wins. That's the rules here, right? I want nothing, big capital letters, to do with you. I don't want you in my life, my kid's life. She doesn't have kids yet, so I am going to do her a favor, and I am going to ask the universe to have mercy on her for saying that about her unborn children, because she is jinxing herself. Y'all know my history. By the age of 28, I was not able to have kids anymore. You come from a medical history. You have a medical history. You are predisposed to reproductive issues. You should not be throwing, she goes further, not even my grandkids' lives. You just set a negative path for yourself as far as your fertility. And I am going to ask God and the universe to have grace on your soul and on those words. Because while they can't be unsaid, I want your feeling to be undone, because I want you to experience motherhood. Every woman should have that choice, and I know that that's something that you really, really want, and I hate that you do not understand the power of your words. So, she wants me to have nothing to do with her kids that she doesn't have yet, and the grandkids that she doesn't have yet. So already she's throwing her life of having kids out the window. You have fucked up my life and brainwashed me enough. Parenting is not brainwashing. I'm yelling this to every child across all 47 countries that listens to me right now. We are now up to 51 countries. Thank you. Parents, educating, drilling, I don't give a fuck how you get the information to your children. It is not fucking brainwashing. The truth fucking hurts. The truth hurts. And you've been looking at the wrong person. Most of you children that are arguing with your parents and saying dumb shit like this crazy ridiculousness, I expect this from a 12 or 14-year-old, not a 24-year-old. And then she sits at home and wonders why he hasn't popped a question yet. You don't love yourself. You do not love yourself. I've been trying to say that to you privately for a gazillion fucking years. And you think that I fucked up your whole fucking life. You have been looking at the wrong parent the entire fucking time. So while you can sit here and text me, oh, I'm not scared of you, you think you're going to beat my ass, but I'm going to read this to everybody. I'm about to go like I did on everybody else who fucked me over in life. I am going to walk people through how healing works. This is how it works. You go through the 5 stages of grief. You go through the denial. No, my child would never fucking do this to me. Then you go through the anger. How dare this bitch? We've been through this before. Then you go through the bargaining. Well, we're gonna, try and work this out. If you are willing to forget this, I'm willing to forget this. I'll forget for this, blah, 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 blah. Which leads to what happened in Dallas, and you think you're on good terms. And eventually you finally get to a state of depression because you start to miss the person that you lost, because the relationship is never the same. It's literally like losing the life of a person, a death. The 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. When your child comes at you and says these kind of things, any child to any parent, and vice versa. I have said crazy things to my kids. I've called them bitches, hoes. I just called Hollywood whores yesterday. But I don't wake up with that intent to antagonize and downgrade and belittle my children or anybody. That's never been my intent. During her teenage years, I was severely ill and on bed rest, and all I wanted to do was fucking die every day of my life. Y'all know the story. I'm reminding her. She has this sense of abandonment. It's not from fucking me. Even when I was on bed rest and we were out marching, I had to come home and go to the hospital. If I was away from you, it was because I was in a hospital. But when we were marching, my kids were with me. When we were out and about, my kids were with me. And if they had plans and they couldn't go, then they weren't with me. A bitch on bed rest still fighting to live. For who? I wasn't fighting to live for me at that point. I was fighting to live for them. I didn't know about self-love back then. I had to learn to love myself when I found my dad dead on the floor. I didn't find him, our son did. But I walked in and obviously he didn't move. So it was just as shocking. It's shocking to all of us that were there and involved in different ways. So to say that I'm a narcissist and I use my stories to get, what did you say? Oh, and I brainwash you? No. LPCs, licensed professional counselors, I'm not one. I've never claimed to be one. I say I'm like an LPC without the certification. I don't need deductive reasonings via a piece of paper and some hours behind a person who does not have the life experiences that I have to tell me what to do with my life. I make a better counselor because I have life experiences that most people don't go through, and for the ones who have gone through actual worse shit that I've gone through. That is not brainwashing. That is preparing you for life, which you actually obviously don't know how to do yet. So yes, in that way, I fucking failed you again. And I'm not proud. I'm not a proud person. Never have been. Never have I been a proud person. I'm proud of my family. I am proud that I don't have any kids that are on the streets, that aren't living with friends. I'm glad that my son's mental health is stable right now and he cares to live every day. I'm glad that my daughter went to the freaking Air Force, even though she went for the wrong reasons. She stuck it out. She did it. She's out. That bitch has never stepped. She maybe did 20 hours in college. We went together. It's not for us. We prefer studying on our own. We like to be alone. We like to be in our own space. Again, not brainwashing. I tell you, your sister, your siblings, your brother, I tell the entire fucking world the same thing all the time. My testimony is just that. I have been there. I have bared that cross. Therefore, I am relating to you and trying to prevent you from running in to the same fucking fires that I ran into and got burned from and carry scars so deep, no amount of surgery would ever fix it. So this is the aggressive part of how I feel, and we're only halfway through the text. We're going to do this in live action. Because you say down here, oh yes, I think I'm a badass on my podcast. I am a badass on my podcast. Thank you. I'm going to take that as a positive. Even though you said it as a total negative, I'm going to take it as a positive because this is my truth. And for once, I'm going to bring people on that actually live in this house, who actually deal with me on a day-to-day basis, and who actually see what I do on a day-to-day basis just to function. Is it easy to keep my life balanced? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Especially when I wake up in the morning and am sincerely concerned about one of my children, send the most pleasant fucking text message at all times, and this is the answer I get. So let's keep going, all right? So I'm brainwashing her. Okay, cool. Obviously, I didn't brainwash her enough because she still sucks at life. You wonder why everyone fucking hates you. Okay, let me stop you right there. I need to understand where you're coming from. So I go to talk therapy. You say you go to therapy. I didn't ask what kind. It's not my business to know. But so down here at the bottom, you say you're all big badass on your podcast. So is it that I'm a big badass on my podcast, or do I have a lot of haters? I'm confused. Because the podcast is paying the bills, along with Daddy's money, because she's fixing to throw my husband's finances in my face. So I'm skipping along. She's listening to some other podcast because she keeps texting stupid shit. I need you to make sense to me and to the world, because we're doing this in live action. If you want me to not talk about you, you're going to have to get a non-disclosure agreement from a lawyer, and it's going to have to meet with mine, and it's going to have to be on my terms, not yours, because guess what? You're always going to be the fucking child. That's how I feel about that. So, you wonder why everyone fucking hates you. I always say I love a good hater. Because every now and then I come across some really good haters. They're usually Christians. I love them. I love them more than anyone. Because, just like her, they are the most hypocritical and judgmental people on the face of the fucking planet. In the universe, for all of that. The megaverse, if you will. This chick needs a couple of mega pints just to get her mind straight. Put down the weed cart. It's not working. Maybe you should get a new therapist. Or go more frequently. I might want to find out who he or she is, and send this to them. You wonder why everyone fucking hates you. Okay, everyone doesn't hate me. They obviously love me. They're paying my fucking bills. So, I'm a brand ambassador, an author. I make money while I sleep. What else? Oh yeah. Hello, iHeartRadio. Boop, 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 boop. And you know where else I'm headed. So, do I really have haters? People want to know just how much of a survivor I am. They gave me a whole fucking radio show where I could say whatever the hell I want without fear of persecution or fucking up any FCC shit. So, then it says, why everyone hates me. It's because you are so fucking selfish and lie about literally everything to make yourself look better. Okay, let's stop there for a minute. To all my subscribers, y'all already know, but she's a new listener, so I'm going to inform her very quickly. You need to go back and listen to all 19 or 20 now podcast preview. You listened to the one yesterday, so go listen to the other 19 and listen to how much of my shit is out there for the world. I tell on myself more than I tell on anyone. And I don't do it for fucking gratitude. I don't do it to put myself on any kind of pedestal. No one should be ever put on a pedestal, ever. Everyone should remain grounded and balanced. When you start thinking you're higher than the ground, that's when you realize you don't have wings to fucking fly. Stop using that as a fucking piggy bank and go move out with your fucking girlfriend and let dad be happy. I am not even going to touch that subject. First of all, I will say one thing. I do not have a girlfriend. Second of all, my husband has his own words to speak about that. I don't speak about anybody else's stories. I talk about how their actions affect me. That is legal. I have contracts to back it up all day long. I am talking, if you are a part of my life, you're going to get talked about. Comedians, politicians, actors, they've been doing it their whole lives. It's called autobiography. It's called nonfiction. It's called memoirs. It's called vlogging, blogging. I can talk about whoever I want, as long as it is in regards to how it affects me. So, let dad be happy. You know that no, I'm not. I'm going to let him tell you. It's not my story. It is my story to tell, but I'm going to let you hear it from him. No one tells you this shit because everyone is scared of you. I don't know anyone that is scared of me. I know that my youngest daughter, on that one day where you said that shit that you said, she did say that she was in fear of what I did afterwards because I jumped up and raged like the devil, and a growl came out of my soul that I wish I could actually reproduce because it would make really cool music. And then I had to apologize to her because I used my weapons of war against an innocent person, and that person happened to be my young daughter. And we apologized, or I apologized, because going through therapy, if you're going through it right, means that you're reliving every bad thing that's ever happened to you. You have to undo, like, I'm 42. I have to undo 42 years of bad behavior. It takes the brain 30 days to learn a new habit and unlearn a bad one. So every month, I'm working on something new. Therefore, my emotions, because I choose not to be medicated, I choose to self-medicate. Well, now I'm legal to do the 420 here in Texas. I am mentally fit because of this, because of the triggers that I have in my PTSD still that I have to work on. I am now legal to smoke marijuana medicinally, not recreationally. I am so not fake, I don't even feel comfortable smoking illegal weed in my house without a license. That's not my life anymore. That's not who I am. I have been working on self, and I know that Daddy tells you that, and maybe you believe him, maybe you don't. Obviously you don't, because you're telling me all this crazy shit. But you don't live in this house. No one tells you that shit because they're scared of you. Well, bring me somebody that's scared of me, and I will have a conversation with them. You don't have the right to speak on anybody else's behalf but your own. But I am not anymore. I left the house because of your psychotic ass behavior, and I am the happiest I have ever been. Does this sound like a text message from somebody that's happy? I'm asking all the 51 countries now. Thank you all. Does this sound like a text message from somebody that is happy? This is why I have been asking about her mental health. This is why my husband and I have been sitting up for hours. So normally when my husband gets home, he comes upstairs, he takes a shower, he goes downstairs, he cooks dinner, he brings me food because I'm always up here working. Until the wee hours of the morning. Sometimes he's getting up for work and I'm still sitting here working. Our financial piggy bank goes both ways, sweetheart. But you don't live here and you don't ask questions, so you wouldn't know that. You're not happy. You are not happy. I must say it a third time because they say 3 times the charm. I don't believe in luck, but you are not happy. Look in the nearest mirror, even if it's your fucking phone. Look dead into your eyes and see the buckets and fucking your under eyes are so filled with tears and baggage and sorrow and pain and anger and animosity and rage and vengeance and abandonment and anxiety, depression, suicidality. You have all of this in your eyes. That's why I captured at the wedding the most beautiful parts of you. Because I know that you don't see what the rest of the world sees. That's not fake. That's being a fucking mother. I don't want any kids to suffer the way I've ever suffered. And I don't want any parents to suffer the way my husband and I have suffered. Yes, my husband and I suffer from abuse from our children. This is the first example that I am going with. I started the show yesterday. Here we go. I signed a contract that said I was going to talk about my life. Here we go. First text of the morning. Can't even get through it. It's 12:33. I have a client that I got to get ready for in 30 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this shit up. But it is important. We point out to my son, the kids who live in my house now. We point out to them. Even the younger one who's super hype and crazy and gets really over exaggerating all the time. We stop her now together. And she'll be like, no. Stop. We have to acknowledge the behavior at the time that it's happening. Otherwise, they come back and say, oh no, I didn't say that. You're full of shit. You embellished. You did this. You're fake. You're this. You lie. You're this. You lie. Blah, 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 fucking blah. And then I wake up to this. So, we have decided we are taking our roles back as parents and putting our fucking feet down, making our kids do what the fuck they're supposed to do. That includes the ones who do not fucking live here. I grounded this chick when she was 18 years old because she got a tattoo. It wasn't about the tattoo. It was because I felt left out because that was something special that I wanted to do with my kids. I wanted it to be a tradition that we carried on for generations. I take you to get your first tattoo. You will take your kids and I will be there to get their first tattoos. So forth and so on. Everybody has their traditions. That was something that was so important to me. She felt the need to do it after work with friends. I grounded her. Did she stay in the house? Yes. Does she feel some type of way about it? Yep, she joined the Air Force. How'd that work out for you? Again, I ask you to please look in the mirror because I am reading you your words. I am the happiest I have ever been. That is the most false and fakest statement you or anybody could ever make, including myself. Nobody's the happiest they've ever been. Nobody, and especially you. So, the next part says, I know that your messages are fake. I guess her psychic abilities, her spidey senses must have kicked in. No, my messages are not fake. They're genuine. They come from the heart. And it is obviously why I get emotional when you question my love for you. Your mental health has actually kept both your dad and me awake many, many nights talking about how to approach you because you are so reactive. That means that all of those words that I just said that you're going to see when you look in the mirror, that's real. We're starting to see it. You've been hiding all of this shit for so long. The trash can, remember the story about the trash can in your heart? People can smell your fucking trash now. And now you got somebody that's going to air it out and point it out to you. Why? It's an important lesson. I am not doing this to be negative. I am doing this as a learning opportunity because that's what my show is about. Families are dysfunctional, delusional, her word. Families try to, when you think about the quote-unquote perfect family, what does that fucking look like? The Brady Bunch? Guess what? They had fucking problems. Okay? The Partridge Family? They had problems. And guess what? They're both fucking fake as fuck. This television, it's scripted. Okay? Every family has problems. Every single one. My kids cannot say that they had the same problems I had. And I am fucking proud to say that. And so is my husband. We busted our fucking asses to make sure that our kids had what we didn't. And I am proud of that, and my husband is as well. So no, you're not happy. Look in the mirror and see all those words I just said about you. There's about 25 more, but I got to show and people to get to. You know, all those people that hate me. They pay to just listen to me talk. You know why? Because of this right here. So parents, when your children send you dumb shit like this, and kids, when you decide to send dumb shit to your parents like this, understand that small words have very, very big impacts on people. The word no, for example, we talked about that yesterday. Most powerful word in every fucking language. Literally means stop everything. Stop. The word no means stop. Alto, whatever. No, 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 no. I just said it in 11 different languages. Did you understand them all? Yep. I know that your messages are fake and that you actually talk endless shit about me at home. I actually don't. She put LOL after that. I don't ever say anything derogatory about my daughter. The only thing that I have said about my daughter, I haven't said anything. I've questioned everyone in the house, including the dogs, wanting to know about her mental stability. Her mental stability has been on my mind for the last 2 months. So no, I do not talk shit about my daughter. Y'all hear about my life previously from my actual podcast, but now on the iHeart show, this is a story. I mean, y'all wanted to hear more about my life and how we heal. I can't tell you to just go through life, and you just got to go through it. So here I am, getting paid to actually go through it with y'all. So, how do I feel about her saying she's the happiest person on the earth? I think across the board, if I was to put up a poll, is this person happy? No. Nowhere near it. But, and my messages are fake. I talk endless shit about me. You talk endless shit about me at home. LOL. I don't do that, by the way. My husband will back that up. Take down your fucking holier than thou attitude and actually look at yourself and all of the fucking lies you tell. I am blocking you on every fucking thing, fucking everything. I am done with you and your fake ass. I'm not even going to address that because my subscribers know, to my eldest who sent this to me, you should go back and listen to the last 19 episodes. Nobody is more open about their bad behavior than me. I have been openly going through healing processes with the entire world since I started this podcast. So, how did I respond to this? I hearted it. We're iPhone family. I hearted it. And then I texted her back. I said, that is all awesome. I thank you for, quote unquote, because it's not true what she's saying. So it's her honesty. It's not mine. I'm not claiming that shit. It's not real. The delusion here is the hallucinative visions she sees in her fucking mind at night about her fictitious life she believes that she grew up in. But I put, that is all awesome. I thank you for, quote unquote, your honesty, and will love you and pray for you even harder. Prayer hands, heart emoji. So, during the time of this show, I got to wrap it up because I got clients to get to, because, I got all those haters that pay me $50 an hour to talk to me. Yeah, those people. I got to get to those. All of you who wanted me to have my own show, I suppose you all hate me too. Doesn't sound like a very happy person. So how does this make me feel as a mother? As I'm telling y'all this, she kept texting. She said, and keep my name out of your fucking mouth. I am sorry. I retract. If I can't retract or redact, we're not in court. But I am publicly apologizing for saying your name one time in this podcast. It will never be said again. I will try. I can't make promises like that because I talk about my life so freely. But your siblings have said, going further, as my life is becoming very much more public and the situation that is going on with the media, they will attend functions, they will attend events, but they do not want to be in the public eye. And I totally 1000% respect that. That's not their choice, and it's not your choice. But I asked you, before I wrote the book, I sat down with each and every one of my children, and I asked them. I didn't have to. I did it out of respect for their privacy. I never want to be putting my kids in a position that I wouldn't want to be put in. My family was in the public eye. I do not like that. So, previous to this actual radio show, you had agreed that I could tell my truth. Now you say my truth are lies. I'm so confused. But this is a news segment. This is an actual iHeart radio show, so I will not mention your name ever again. I will try not to mention your name. There you go. It's on public record. Done. Everybody already knows my kids' names, by the way, just so you know, because of the previous 19 episodes from my just regular podcast on Buzzsprout. So, nothing can be done about that. So, new listeners, you don't know who my kids are. Sorry. You're not going to ever know their names. My husband, my brother, everybody else I talk about using their names, they do not care. They are actually super supportive and proud of the work and the hours that I put in. They actually sit up here and bring me food, water. They make sure that I take breaks. My clients make sure that I take breaks. They remind me, hey, you haven't drank in over 2 hours. You need to take a break. The people that hate me so much, yeah, those people are telling me to take breaks, to go to sleep, to make sure that I'm hydrated, make sure that I'm eating. Those people, the ones that hate me, yeah. You literally admit to child abuse on your podcast that can be used against you in a court, dumbass. Yep, I did. I wrote about it in my book as well. I write about a lot of crimes in my book because a lot of crimes were committed in my life. Not just me personally. I talk about going to jail. I talk about being a felon. I talk about my misdemeanors. I talk about my charges. So I don't know why she felt the need to say that, but it's public knowledge. So there's that. Honestly, I'll unblock you on here, which is text message. LOL. She's just laughing her ass off, right? Everything's so fucking funny. I am not scared of you. I will call you and tell you this shit straight to your face. You are all big and badass on your podcast. Gonna beat my ass? Question mark, question mark, question mark. When the fuck did I ever say I was gonna beat this chick's ass? Never. Okay, we're to the part where I'm past. I've accepted all of your dumb shit because it's not mine. It's not mine. And now I am actually audibly laughing. I'm going to use your term. I have full transparency here. We do the good, the bad, the ugly here at Dysfunctionally Functional. I am audibly laughing at the fact that I'm going to beat your ass. Now, I have said that both of my daughters, the reason that I was so hard on them, and am still hard on them, is because they have mouths on them, obviously, like their mother. They talk shit. I raised them to be independent. I raised them to be loud. I raised them to use their voice. And they do. To the wrong people, of course. But I've always said, what they need is a good ass beating. I never said, I'm gonna go beat your ass. I have said, I wish I could beat your ass. I have said that. But I have never threatened anyone on this fucking station or any other platform ever. I have said that I have felt guilty in the past for praying for certain people in my life to just die. I have said that because I really did pray for people to die. And that is sad. And I was in a really dark place. Again, I started this journey to tell my life through therapy and not as a victim. I've never claimed to be a victim a day in my life. I have come from dysfunctionally functional. I started dysfunctionally functional broken. I didn't have a crumb left to fucking break. But I found my fucking wings. And they're red, and they're gold, and they're beautiful. And I'm rising like the phoenix that I fucking am. And no, your words do not affect me. And I had a conversation with my husband, your father, last night. And I told him that this was coming. Again, y'all, my kids hate the fact that I'm psychic. They hate that I'm spiritual. They hate everything about me. They hate it all. They do. My son is the only person who actually follows in my footsteps. My girls are both mini versions of myself. But more importantly, my daughter, this one, the eldest, she is who she was raised by. For the first 3 years of her life, those are when the kids absorb the most. And kids do what they see, not what you say. When they're toddlers and they're sponges, they don't really understand all the words you say. So they do the actions. She was raised by my mother and my sister while I was incarcerated doing time to keep her out of the system. And I didn't just do it for her, I did it for the whole neighborhood. I wanted to take care of all kids that came from broken homes. So, it says, you gonna beat my ass, question mark, question mark, question mark. Then she says, come on, with 2 exclamation points. Where are you? Question mark with a bunch of laughing faces. Does that sound like the happiest person on the earth? No. So parents, when your children tell you stuff like this, we heard my emotions go up and down. So how did I get to this point where I am non-reactive? She is going to say that making the podcast is reactive, but in actuality, the podcast has been in existence for over a year. And now it is an actual show that I am committed to. And it is a show about, guess what? My life. So, the whole fucking world, at least 46 countries until I started yesterday and reached 40 now, and now we're in 51. People already know who you are, sweetheart. I would like for you to know who you are. You have a lot of pain. I don't deny that. I can't. And I am not making this podcast for any other reason that I get paid to do it. And the pretenses and the content that I'm asked to give is my true actual life. I'm like a reality show in the form of a radio show. Reality TV is next. So all those people that hate me, they don't hate me. You do. And as a mother, it took a very long time for me to come to terms with that. I came to terms with that when you went off on me the first time when I was on the truck. I told Daddy back then, once you break my trust, why would I bend the rules for my kids that I set for myself that work for my healing path and keep me balanced? There is no shakiness in my voice. There is no anger in my voice. There is nothing but calmness, and I'm coming from an exact place of truth and love. One day you will accept it, or maybe you won't. I pray for your mental health and your heart and your soul every day, and will continue to do so. You could block me. You can do whatever you want. But unless you put a hit out on me and have me killed, I'm not going anywhere. Because parents, real parents, they fight for their kids, no matter what. That's the lesson here, parents and children. So I leave you with this. I posted it on Facebook. I know you saw it. I leave you with this. This is for parents and children. Communication is fucking key. I cuss a lot, yes. So my YZ and millennial children take everything offensively. I am not going to water down my charismatic and personality, my charisma and my personality. I'm not going to water down who I am to make each one of them feel comfortable. I don't care about anybody's feelings when it comes to this new shit that they make up. I don't live in that world. Parents of my age, we don't live in that world. You know better. Granted, I did not walk over no hills of snow holding my shoes that I was going to have to wear for 3 years and have stubby toes and, all that story that our parents told. The stories that I've told about my life growing up, that shit's real. But it's not your life. Mass hysteria is something that parents and children need to look up. Mass hysteria is when you're around somebody that says that they have something or they believe that they have something. So another thing about my eldest child is she's a super hypochondriac who thinks WebMD is like God's gift to doctors, and she has access to instant medicine all the time for free. Granted, it takes a little longer than she would prefer, but everybody of her generation, it's not just her. I'm talking about her today because this is the situation. I want to teach parents and children how to communicate. Communication is why we don't get along. But more importantly, I believe that my daughter thinks that I should have never had her. I believe that my mom never should have had children, and I believe wholeheartedly she's told me she never wanted to be a mom, and she told my brother the last time she talked to him that she is not going to die until every last Torres is dead. That's my mom. Y'all know her. Y'all know that character, right? Y'all used to feel sorry for her about getting her ass beat until you learned truths about her. I am not her. Never have been, never will be. I don't brainwash people. I use my life story to warn and educate. It comes from a place of love. It really does. And it's really sad when your kids do not listen because they think they know better. They have instant access to the whole world. Well, parents, you do too. And just like you could start a podcast. I started mine for free. Started it for free, didn't think anyone would ever listen. And I worked my ass off, and there have been months that I've gone without, because I was driving like crazy, there have been months that I've gone without doing a podcast and still bringing in money and people still downloading and subscribing every day. Why? Because I am telling a story of my life, and it is a very familiar story that all of you parents and children around the world can relate on both sides. So now you're seeing both sides. You're seeing it from my child's side. That's her point of view. You've all heard my story. She obviously is uneducated in the first 19 episodes, but that's okay. I can't tell her what to do with her time. I can't tell her that her feelings are invalid. I can tell her that she has a warped sense of conception when it comes to the inception that she has of her childhood. I can tell her a lot of things, but the only thing that she needs to hear right now is that I am truly concerned for her mental stability, and I genuinely can't say it enough. You saved my life in more ways than you will ever understand. And while my delivery has sucked for 98% of your life, I'm going to say 96 because I started therapy when Papa died. But you can never say that I didn't come to y'all and ask y'all's permission. I asked y'all if y'all wanted me to change your names. Y'all were all 100% supportive until it came out. And so now you are all listening to every other person's version of what happened. But let me ask you this. Why hasn't anyone come forward to say, hey, you talk about this did not happen, and come with some fucking receipts, because please believe I have them. Again, everything that I talk about has been either published in the newspaper, on the news. My mom was arrested. She was a deli manager in Pasadena, Texas, on Spencer and Red Bluff. Same Kroger's is still there. She was arrested on television. My story that I talk about in my it's not my stories, it's my life, told in stories, chapters of my life that I had to relive, and I am still reliving. So to heal, you have to deal. So my kids always say, why you always live in the past? Because I'm actively writing my past. You have to understand where I am coming from, or you don't. Everything is a choice. You have obviously made yours. I respect it, and I will continue to pray for you, and I will continue to pray for all parents and all children that have this breakdown in communication. There's a healthier way to do it, and I have found that way to do it, and I choose to disengage from situations that are not conducive to my path of healing. Thank you for listening to Dysfunctionally Functional. Find your dysfunctions within your lives parents and children. This is specifically going to be targeted to parents and children. So the producers, they put all the hashtags and everything. They do all of that. This is going out. My channel is being promoted specifically to mental health awareness, suicide, depression, anxiety, domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, molestation, grooming. There's a whole bunch of shit. But primarily parenting and children and teens. Teens are the number one people listening to my thing on Pandora. I found out yesterday Pandora is I didn't even know I was on Pandora. Pandora is where y'all are streaming me the most. 97% of people streamed my previous podcast on Pandora. I didn't even know I was there. I didn't know anything about the analytics. I just got on my truck, put my stuff on, and talked. Now I have to be more structured. I follow, not a script, but I have bullet points, and I get up and talk about my life as it's happening. It is a reality show in the form of a podcast. It is leading up to an actual reality show. So, obviously, she doesn't want to be a part of that life anymore. As my other children do not want to be a part of that life anymore either. I respect that. So, while I will still continue to talk about my children because I have to talk about my life that I'm contracted to, I will not be using their names. And I'm not going to make up fake names because I'm not a fake person. And I don't know how to tell a lie. Anybody who knows me knows that. So, I can't make up fake names because I will laugh every time I fucking say it. And it'll be really hard because that's not the names that I gave you when I gave you fucking life. That's right. You can say, children, you can say that you don't have parents. But be sure that you're willing to put your head on your pillow to bed at night and peacefully have blissful dreams knowing that you sent something like that to your parent and something happens to your parent. Karma is real. Karma is a bitch. I don't fuck with her. She took everybody in my family away from me. Why? Because I used to write hot checks to keep food and shelter. I opened bank accounts under false pretenses. I actually am a felon, a multi-felon. I write about it in the book. It's not anything. I have never, ever hid anything from anybody. I do have a felony of forgery of a commercial instrument. I used to make forged documents in the form of finances. To do what? Take care of my kid. And all the other kids in the neighborhood. But I guess that was for show too. That was all fake. Nothing about me is fake. There's a lot of things that you can say about a Torres, but there's one thing that we're not. We're not fake. My mother, Mima, she's not a Torres. She's the fakest person I know, and you is looking a whole lot like her. And I pray for your soul to be blessed. And I pray that karma does not take anybody's children away. Do not ever. The reason I say that karma took my family away is because when I couldn't pay bills and I was doing these illegal things, I would make phone calls. My daughter will tell you, that same one that I just talked about, she will tell you. She knows how to get shit taken care of now because she's heard me hustle people all the time. Water, gas, electric, car notes, insurance, whatever the fuck it was. Our cell phones, her fancy phones. This kid grew up with iPhones. Every new iPhone, every fucking October, September, we were pre-ordered. Me and my kid, it was a tradition. Every fall, we were ready. Jelly Roll said it best. Even if the good outweighs the bad by 1,000,000 to 1, You're always going to be judged by the single fucking one thing that you did wrong. Parents, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. What is your fault, you are to take accountability for, and you have to look in the mirror, and you have to come to terms with what your children have to say about you. Do we have to accept it? No, we don't, but we do have to accept our part in it. I have already done that. Y'all have been listening to me do that, and my family who actually lives in this domain, this shelter that I'm in right now, they see that every day. And my kids come in my room every single day and tell me that they love me, and they bring me stuff. They make sure that I'm good, because I work incestuously, like 24 hours a day sometimes. And doing it for who? My family. Everything I do is for my family. So, this was my life today. And unfortunately, it's a lot of parents' lives every day. There's a lot of parents that get sleepless nights because they don't hear from their kids. They don't even know where their kids are. My best friend Martina, the last time I saw her, my husband and I were with her. The Astros had won their chance to go to the World Series. It was mayhem all over Main Street downtown. And I asked Martina about her kids. She has no relationship with almost any of them. And some of her grandkids, she doesn't even know where they are. Her kid said the same thing to her that my daughter is saying to me. And I've known Martina my entire life. And I gotta say, she doesn't have a bad bone in her body. So, for her kids to think that her hustling and working her ass off to keep them, one, out of the system, and two, off the streets, is fucking grotesque. You kids need to sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, take evaluation of what the fuck your parents are actually doing for your life. Parents, I implore you, I do this all the time. I used to make my daughter kneel on rice. She didn't like that too much. I didn't do it on concrete like my dad did me. I use corporal punishment now because, again, I am very open and honest about the fact that, well, now I feel they're too old to spank. But when they were younger, I was on 29 medications, on bed rests, highly suicidal, and very combative with myself, which is why I pushed everybody away. But I always allowed my kids to come in my room except on a Sunday. I asked for Sundays to just decompress, because when you wake up every day and all you want to do is die, that is the most exhausting thing in the world. That's where I was for the majority of 10 years of my life. And unfortunately, my oldest daughter remembers some of those days. And what I need her to remember is, during those years, me and Daddy still managed to pull out everything that we had to make sure that you had the best seats to the best shows, that you went everywhere that you fucking wanted to go. Sure, your friends were richer, and sure, your friends had nicer parents, or whatever the fuck you think. All kids think their friends' parents are always better than theirs. But when you're blessed with kids, remember this podcast. Thank you for listening. Sorry it was so depressing. I actually am fine. I obviously have a tone in my voice that is of disdain. That's how I would say that I feel. So I have to work through this brick now that I have that has her name on it and the word disdain. That is how I actually envision. I have a sketch pad. So I will actually write the date. I will take screenshots, and I will save them in my therapy folder on my iPhone. And the next time, which is tomorrow, that I talk to Yolanda, my counselor, I will discuss this with her. and I will discuss how I feel. And the way that I feel about this is, let's talk about how I feel about her. How I feel about her words is disdain. How I feel about her and her message is, as a mother, I feel like my heart is broken. I feel that I failed my child. I feel that she is in a lot of pain and she needs a lot of help. Those are all things that, one, geographically, I cannot be there to do and help her with. But even if I did live where she is, you have to deal with your own shit to heal. I can lead you to water, but I can't force you to drink. Parents, children, it goes both ways. Communication is the reason that nobody gets along anymore. I have to cut out. I have haters to get to. That is laughable. It's like audibly laughable. I like that. I'm going to use that. You should copyright it because I am going to use it. I'm telling you. I'm telling the whole world. I like it. Keep it. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you have that. You need some more positives in your life. But thank you for listening. I know this is super long, but this is what I get paid to do. So I get paid to broadcast my life as it happens. So there you go. That's my morning. Now I got to run off, and I have 6 clients until 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I get up tomorrow and do it all over again. So I will see y'all back here tomorrow. The show runs from 6 a.m. Normally 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 8 a.m. It actually gets posted later in the afternoon. So you have been listening to Teresa DeLeon. I am the author of the book Dysfunctionally Functional. Book 2 is coming out in October of next year. We actually have dates. I have deadlines I have to stick to now. This shit is getting real. So, what we talk about here is my life. What we talk about is healing. What we talk about is grief. What we talk about is dysfunction or delusion. We're going to use the word delusion in this episode because that's her word, not mine. The delusion of what life should be and what it is and what it should look like in the future. And I always end my podcast with, let's take our dysfunctions one at a time. So today, pick one brick out of the wall that you've built up, because everybody has walls. Take one brick out and start working on that. When you take the bricks out, the dysfunctional parts, and make them functional, you take your questions and your disdain and all your negatives and you make them affirmations, you turn them into manifestations, and you turn them into positivity, then stuff like this does not affect you because it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the party that is antagonizing you. So, am I a victim? No. I am a survivor. I am healing. Just like people that deal with sobriety, I am a work in progress, and I will continue to bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, thank you for listening, and let's keep taking our dysfunctionalities and / delusions. I will never use that word again. I don't use that word because I don't live in that world. And let's make them positives. So y'all have a wonderful day.